Try to tell myself the bet is on you. Out the rated, undercover, I should know better. Thought I knew better. Too many times. Ever been the one to draw the line? Too many times. Ain't enough yet to change my mindset. I'm lost, I'm falling, I'm slipping off, I'm caught I'm caught in. I'm lost, I'm falling. Face this space, running on
All right, what's up, guys? What's up? All right, new Tame album is out, so I'm vibing here. If you guys are not familiar, I've been a massive Tame Impala fan since like I don't know 2013 or something. So from the psychedelic days to the to currents, getting a little bit more vibey, the whole thing. So yeah, it's sick. I haven't listened to all of it yet, but played a few of the first tracks there. What's up? What's up, everybody? All right, we got Harshi. What's up, James? Mr. Cowan. Cesar, ¿qué tal, mi bro? Joe, Gabriel. Blessed Friday. What's up, Caius? This morning, Dow broke my heart a little bit. Feel that. I saw that. Thankfully, I was asleep. I don't know if I would have survived. It would have been like right there. I think I would have taken NQ. But hey, Mike. What's up, Alfredo? Brandon, Seth, Dan B. Just posted silver and oil setups under the live post. Would love to hear your thoughts on them. I'll definitely check them out. What up, Sen, Patrick, Mateo, Filmowit, Edwin. Welcome everyone. Let's get our people involved. Make sure you got if you got the homies, your trading buddies. Let's get them on the session. I appreciate you guys, liking the stream just to kind of get us a bit more exposure as well. So let me send out one last message. But what are we seeing, guys? What's on the radar today? I like some setups here, so I do like a couple things. We'll look at a little bit on what's going on here. So let's see. All right. Chat's going. What up, Greg? All right. Yo, Brandon sent me the funniest message. I was like, oh, leg day, And he's like, they got to carry the wallet, coach. All right, what's up? I will post the trade I did yesterday, though. Nice, 10%. Huge, man. You're trading. That's like 2 days. I think you've had 2 different 10% days or something like that. I love it. What's up, Steve? I actually have a question about how Dow in correlation to NAS. Let me know where you want to drop the charts. Yeah. You can just make the post too. A tomar matecito hoy. Así es. What's up, Ozzy? What's up last night? NQ was down 1.5%. The sub liquidity and flipped. Exactly. All right. So let's dive into it. I want to see first. You guys are going to notice some changes also in the community. Nance is doing a lot of aesthetic upgrades to it, so you guys are seeing a new revamp to everything. So pretty sick. But yeah, let me check out what you got here. Harshi, did you drop it in the syndicate? Was it in here? Where'd you post this? All right, let me know wherever you post. Oh, it's right there. Here we go. All right, silver and oil. I'm gonna get into indices. I'm not in a total rush, but I see it. Silver. Yeah, we have that last sweep that takes out these lows. Wait, you guys can't see my charts yet. My bad. I know I'm about to get that in the chat. Mike, we can't see anything. All right, cool. Morning, Dennis. So I'm with it. I like this last sweep, taking out lows, rallying. So I do think we can get a nice play here. Let's check out silver and gold real quick. We'll get into crypto as well. Bitcoin got to that last low. It finally cracked into this zone, this imbalance, this area. It hadn't done that before. We got over to here. We're still missing out. Honestly, and I'd say more unfortunately, we still might work our way down to this last drop. We did just play out of imbalance and some structure. So I don't have this completely out of the equation yet. So we will see. But I will also add, we are getting into territory where if these lows don't, I'll get into this later. I'll get into that later. I'll talk about that in a bit. Not necessarily in a rush. But, so yeah, your silver idea is over here. All right, you have this play here, which I like. So our last push down, and then the market rallies. So you got this right there. And then gold. So this is the low from Thursday. So yesterday, London, Asian session low. And then you have gold. Or gold, which has just been, on one. Gold's Thursday session lows are way over here. Now, I don't like the setup the same way. Like, we don't really see it. We do see it clear below the low, and it leaves an imbalance, so it's okay. But gold is just trading significantly more bullish. So if gold wanted to drop more, it's going to take silver down with it. That's the only downside to silver, is that it's pushing downwards already. We're potentially going to see a break below this low. Actually, I feel very strongly that we'll get below this low. And what I'm curious about is if it's going to stay below it or not. Because a 15-minute break of structure that confirms that, gives us strong levels of demand. So to see it go like this and then stay trading down here, that might set us up for shorts. So yeah, I would stay out of silver personally. That peso sell that I was talking about yesterday, it did end up selling, melting out of this zone. So huge drop. Anyone end up taking this short? I didn't make money in trading for months. Also didn't lose much because I was not active trading. But I made yearly target in 3 weeks now. Amazing, man. Preserve it. Preserve that. I wouldn't say just stop trading or anything. But I'd say keep doing what you're doing. This is where you can just keep kind of you get it. This is what you call a quantum leap. So congratulations, Toby. I absolutely love to see that. I really love to see that. At this point, man, keep doing what you're doing. The markets, you're being blessed by all this volatility. You're taking advantage of that. So amazing. And then just keep everything immaculate. Keep it going that way, and I know you're gonna just have the craziest year of your life. So congratulations, man. Yeah, I missed my entry too. But yeah, it's great to see these kinds of setups play out. Now, oil, right? You had a setup on oil. Let's take a look at that here. A nice last push down, the rally. Awesome. So this is, I like that. I like this play too. So here I'm looking at, now, I don't know, what chart do you have open? CLZ 2020. Oh, I have the wrong chart open. Wait, no. Why does yours look different than mine? Oh, here you have the 5 minute. So we see one last sweep, the last push down. And then this rallies. So we had the lower low, the lower high. We come back here, it struggled to make this low, comes back down again. We're starting to trade a bit higher here. So when the market gets up to here, we maintain this for a little bit, about an hour. We just saw it come down aggressively, but to come right back up. So it does look like oil wants to hold these areas. We have one last push up here as well. So possibly you can see the market want to reverse out of this zone. But the important thing here is also to be aware of where are we in the 4-hour or the daily time frame with oil. Oil has successfully excuse me. Oil has successfully traded into this area. We talked about this zone harshly in our syndicate session yesterday. So we talked about it kind of getting deeper into this level, which it did. And then from here, now the question is, does the market have to hold this as a low? Because, for example, on the daily time frame, we're getting lower lows. We're getting lower highs over here, lower lows. And then we get all the way up to here where when it tries to break above on the daily time frame, this thing just collapses. Like, it doesn't create demand up here. Negative 1,000 pips. Y'all are crazy. So, the daily hasn't convinced me that we're bullish, like that we're going to go and make higher highs. Not yet, at least. And then if we want to go into, can the market drop even further? I do think April's price action on oil did the job. So I can see us get reversals, at least playing into the 60s again, maybe even towards 65. So I do like the possibility for a swing trade, especially if we start getting breaking above on the 1 hour. So I would, if we get entries back over here, I would let a small portion of this trade, or even take two different trades, right? You have one that's more for a swing trade, one that's an intraday trade, and let them ride. So I see it for sure. I would prefer to see the market stay up here for a bit longer, though. But we'll keep this one in mind, definitely. Top step looks different, has lower zones it can target on top. Okay. Yeah, I don't really care about what Top Step says. Top Step isn't the data feed, They take the data feed. So yeah, it was so I don't really know. I don't know what are you what are you trying to say with that message, so I can kind of interpret your message. That way I know what to give you. What kind of feedback are you looking for based on that? But okay, cool. So with that being said, let's look at indices, guys. Let's take a look at what happened here. What in the dump happened yesterday? So we had our buy up to here, this order block here. The market shorted, and overall, right, we were waiting for the market to get down to these zones in order to get a good position, right? So we had Dow starting to crash into this level here, and this thing just drops way, it's just crumbling, right? Market's crumbling when it gets to right here. And if we want to zoom in on just how does this come together, what was more bearish, what was more bullish, because right now we're about to get New York Open, so it's about to get serious. But we're seeing this come down, and it crosses the 886 basically at the same time with NASDAQ. I'd say a little bit, Dow a little bit further. So as you're seeing it go down and down and down, Dow is a bit more aggressive to the downside. So this is what I wouldn't have traded for sure. Then from here, we have the market, as it clears below, it starts to chop up and then rally. Same thing here. It gets just one little bit further before the market continues. So from what I'm seeing now, based on how we've crashed down and just pretty quickly came right back up, yeah, I want to look for a buy position because we just didn't have that much demand over here. We quickly traded out of here. So I think we can get buys down below. But I will add also, we do have some examples for possible sells. Now, the shorts that I would be open to taking would be, for example, NQ. What up, Noah? I'm convinced he's an alien. All right, so you have the sweep up here before the drop. So this could be textbook short if we get up to here today. Not sure if we're going to get there. Depends on how this happens. We might just get up to here first. And that would bring us to Dow's last push up here. Now, Dow Jones, not quite the same. It's pretty similar to equal highs over here. And then this move, which is the same similar scenario. One move up, a bit of an imbalance. So we'll just kind of play this one by ear. We'll see what price action looks like. These are the London session highs over here. Asian session highs were obliterated during London. And then, that kind of gave us a minor reversal. Same thing here, imbalance fill. Market reversed a little bit, but not enough for this to be. I'm not looking to short this at the moment. I don't have an entry for a short. Here's a push to the upside before everything drops, but this doesn't clear liquidity or anything like that, really, to be honest. So everything's pretty efficient going up to here, though. So let's see what the market looks like. I'm open to buys, like I said. We start to see the market just start to tank and then give us the reversal here pretty quickly. And now we're trading above this range as well. So as you can see, Dow has already shifted structure. So the market coming back, I kind of like buys somewhere in this zone here. Like here is where we have an imbalance, the big mitigation zone. So where we would see the reversal. When the market crashes like this is a sign that smart money comes in. And you can see it a bit better if you look this way. Smart money comes in. This clears the lows. Beautiful. Comes back into this massive imbalance from the past. And then the market decides to rally. Damn, son. So loud. And then it decides to rally. So after we cleared this, perfect. We clearly are trading much more bullish. So we clear those lows, then it's game time. And Q does the same thing. Clears these lows just by a fraction here. By a little bit. And then gone. So this is why these reversals back into this area just make a lot of sense. Here it's stalled out, and then we see the drop. So depending on how we work our way down, whether it's Dow and Q, could even be S&P. But typically, as you guys know, S&P trades somewhere in between Dow and NQ's price action. So it's going to be one of these guys. So I'll place an alert here. If we work our way down, we could have a good position. And then if NASDAQ works its way up all the way to here, work its way up to here, then we also have a selling opportunity. So we have a little bit of both today. So I can go ahead and share. And we're already leading. Like Dow is already taking out the highs that we saw about 90 minutes ago, 80 minutes ago. So Dow definitely kicking things off way more aggressively. Cool. What we could get, what could be an option for a short, we might see NAS take out Asian session highs and then give a reversal. So which could play out of here. That's where this zone could come in hand, like could come in clutch. This would be taken out, and I can give you guys the highs here, the session highs. But taking these out maybe plays out of this order block. Up to I don't just trade specifically off of stuff like this, but if we were to see the market, for example, clear the highs, lose that momentum, establish bearish demand, then maybe we could look for a continuation. Something like this. It's possible. Or we just, so this is scenario A or B. The other version would be for it to get all the way up to here. So this is an option. So something like this. Let me move all this stuff here. So this is possible, or we just get to way over here. Somewhere in here. And then, you know, you see some sort of reversal. And then here's the buying opportunities for Dow. Sorry, let me share this here. I would look for sells at the moment on NQ at least. Cool. Yeah. What? Drop your chart. Drop your chart somewhere here. You're looking at CFD chart, huh? Yeah. So this data is a little bit inaccurate. We did have a Nasdaq break below, but I do love the NQ sells. Yeah, I do like the NQ sells, especially up here. Would be a huge fan. Epic sell-off, man. Crushed it. And then I think we have a similar approach, looking for something maybe up here, if not up there. Mateo trading platinum. This looks clean. Yeah, I like that. You got a good bounce out of this. This could have... you could have, I don't know if you took this, but this could have given you a solid, probably break-even trade there. Now, what you do want to look at is make sure you have the contracts. This is like the rollover. So if you want to have the right contract for this, do that so you get better, more precise data. All right, so today's setups. Wait, what's today? The 17th. All right, so YM. I'll just put indices here. Question about correlation. So Nas actually mitigated this move during end of New York / Asia. Dow did not hit the zone yet. So now Dow hit the zone. So being lag, in my opinion, was this the right call, or should I have left it after Nas mitigates? All right, hold on here. You know what? I didn't even notice that. It didn't do that for me. So NQ for my... Actually, maybe I just didn't notice, but... I had the sell zone, so I don't know how small, like, if you got into the details here. But when I went into the smaller time frames, I saw NQ start its drop further down. So, for example, Let's see. I had the short start like here, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. Maybe I had deleted it. I'm not really sure. Okay, and then you saw the sell-off here. 226 points. This goes slightly short of that. But, yeah, I mean, you're right. It did react to that, like, basically perfectly. It bounced really well. Should you have deleted it? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that would have been the case, for sure. I didn't even notice that. So that would have been the right call to just stay out completely. Okay, so right now we're seeing NQ took out the kind of like the choppiness, the consolidation that it had been building up the last just shy of 90 minutes. So we see this on the 1 minute time frame. All right, clears this out. So we're starting to see this push to the upside. So here we do have a clean liquidity sweep. Right there, we see the 1 minute candle. This was a few minutes after New York opened, so we see that take that out. Market immediately drops. So in order to sell here, if I wanted to sell here, I would want to see lower lows. So I would need to see the market give us more signs that it's bearish. Would want to see something like this. And then, continue its way down. If this just comes right back up, I'm not looking to take this. That's how I'm approaching this. So, especially because we have Tokyo highs over here. So considering these highs over here, I would need some strong confirmation to short. The market right now naturally is a bit more bearish. So, I mean, I understand getting in with momentum is fantastic. No, you have the right call. Mm-hmm. Felicidades por la cuenta de Apex de 50. Okay, so it looks like we could get this with NQ. So we'll stay diligent with that. I'm going to place an alert here in case we end up getting enough confirmation for a short, and we can just keep riding the wave down. Oil pushed down again, but came right back up. Now, we haven't looked at metals yet, right? Let me make sure I'm logged in over here. Oh, you took 30? Okay. Well, now you know. All right, perfect. So, yeah, this is what we want to see. Strong move. Now, can we stay here? Can we withstand this? Or are we going to quickly come right back up? So as long as it kind of at least we can maybe even go into the hour trading below these lows, then this can be a very clean setup. And I would be looking for a short like this. From here, yeah, I would ride this out to at least, honestly, trading this into this imbalance. Okay. So let's go take a look at metals. I know you said you had shorted. Ozzy, you said you took a short. When do you sleep, dude? But you wouldn't have taken 30 because even though it was the lagger to the zone, it was not quite the lagger from the whole move. No, because it would have already mitigated, just because it mitigated already. That's why I wouldn't have taken it. Yeah, it already did the move, you know? Yeah, that's why I wouldn't have taken it. All right, let's see here. Okay. So with this, I mean, the all-time highs that we have so far as well, these are liquidity. Just cleared it here. Ate this thing up. So the nice liquidity sweep. This cleared the Asian lows, Tokyo lows, trading into New York session. And then we might be seeing, I know it's crazy, but we might be seeing the, see, this is why, okay, so hopefully, Harshi, you saw my point with silver here. The other area for buys could be right here, though, for silver. I still think gold's a better buying opportunities, but these things may line up where, like, you have gold and silver giving you kind of like entries at the same time. But gold is looking like it could be a shakeout setup here. Cleared liquidity, these lows, London, Asian session lows. So we get all the way down to here. Then the market bounces. So, yeah, this looks like we can get a good play in. Trading down into here could give a nice opportunity. Right now we crashed right away. This thing dropped, 386 pips. Instantly, this thing eats it right back up. So, yeah, let's see if we can keep trading sideways a little bit longer. And then if we get another dip down, I'm cool with catching this another move back up. Because this also, the market's left a lot of liquidity here. Like kind of everywhere. Here, gold left, more resistance here. So a lot of sellers were given this chance to profit here. All right, where's NQ? Okay, NQ came right back up again. I'm not going to take this. No voy a vender. I'm not taking a sell. I'm chilling. Some of you maybe will. Maybe you're right. Amazing if you are. I'm happy for you. I'm not taking a sell. Here's why I'm not taking the sell. Is that when we broke below, we created liquidity, which is fine. But the problem that I have with something like this is that we don't get down. We don't trade to these prices and then see that they're competitive prices. We don't get this here and we can see, oh, okay, there's clearly demand at this level. Market gets down to this price, and then the marketplace has determined that this is way too cheap. This is too affordable. This is where the market wants to trade. Right? It's like, okay, there's more people, there's more money willing to buy up here rather than keep selling down here. So for me, this isn't something I'm going to sell because of just how short-lived the market was trading down here. Also, even Dow just created a higher low. So I'm okay with not being involved in this. And then I'm also, so psychologically, I have decided if I were to miss out on this move, is that okay? Am I going to have FOMO? Am I going to have any sort of feeling like that could cause another mistake? Because remember, sometimes if you don't take a trade, or if a trade, let's say, quote unquote, leaves without you, the downside isn't really that trade. It's that then you're looking for more. You're chasing more. That's the downside. So I'm okay with not being involved in this because I've also considered if it were to, let's say, work out, I have no resentment. I'm not carrying anything over. So I'm cool. All right. So gold, as we saw, quick push down. the big and the really valuable parts of this is that it cleared these Tokyo lows, this London to New York crossover low. I don't really know why they put the London lows here, because this to me is still London session. So it's kind of a flaw with this, but whatever. And then trade it over to here. So if we can kind of keep chopping up like we've been doing, we've been moving sideways here for, what is this, 10 minutes, 12 minutes? Okay, not bad. I'm open, though, to run a shakeout play, despite getting kind of borderline equal lows here. A little half risk shakeout play for me. Let's see. Just going to get my contracts right for this one. All right. Cool. And then, yeah, I'm looking for an entry probably around here. Let's see if I can get to the seconds. Let's get the seconds time frame. So here's where the imbalance is. So somewhere in here is where we're looking for it. So an entry, let's just say 42.80, give or take, is where I would want to have a position. So 42.80. I'm just going to place my limit there. All right, cool. So I'm set there. Going back to NASDAQ here, it looks like it's about to take out the high. Dow also already took out the previous high. So cool, guys. Made the right call. This is the power of understanding demand with price action. Structure isn't just like, oh, it broke the high or the low. So understand that. All right. Just setting up here. Okay. All right, now we are seeing, we're about to see NQ take out Tokyo high. Now my question for you guys is, did anyone get involved in a Dow trade? For me, there wasn't really much to do here. Yes, we came back in, or we had a little bit of a drop, but structure too choppy for me to trade. So that was cool. All right, so where are we now? Dow is getting close to taking out this, this previous high over here, which NQ is lagging behind. So here's where we have NASDAQ now taking out Tokyo high for the first time. I think minimum this will push a little bit further into this area right here. At least to this price is where we can see NASDAQ play into. Here's where we had this kind of last push to the upside, the imbalance, and this is basically just a high before everything started to crash. So now that we take out this area, could you see shorts from here? I think it's possible. I would have preferred, for example, here is where we saw the market take out this liquidity and then set up completely. So I do think there's a chance it can short from here, especially in this imbalance right over here. So if that's something you guys are looking to take because it would be already sweeping Tokyo highs, that's your call. That's your call to make here. But yeah, definitely something that I could see playing out. If you don't have a system around trading something like that, then you don't have to take it by any means. So yeah, that's where we're at right now with this. Let's see. But what we know for sure is Dow is pushing a bit more aggressively still to the upside. It's getting pretty close to taking out this high, and then just working its way into yesterday's New York session. Gold here just building up more liquidity, just moving sideways. So this is the typical break and retest. So this is luring in sellers for sure. I think we get one more push down like I talked about, and then we're rolling from here. So let me know, guys. What are you here? Let's see, the Tradetopia gang. Are you guys going to look to trade NQ? Are you going to stay out? Maybe wait for the market to give you the push back in. Maybe it gives a shakeout setup. In and out based on my own data. Clean. 2.5 hour on Dow. Nice. And Q already starting to lose some momentum a little bit after clearing Tokyo highs. Oh, I'll stay out though. I'm going to wait for the higher sell zone on NQ. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. If we get proof, if we get evidence of the loss of momentum here, and then we just see, that bearish sign, then I'm down to take it down. So let's get a little bit more information. All right, here comes gold. Okay, so NQ doing this thing right here, right now. So we're starting to see our first signs. Doesn't mean it has to drop, it has to sell, but we're just getting our first signs of the clearance of Asian session liquidity, the highs that we're forming here. Typically, you see traders use the session high or low as a place for a stop loss as well. So this is showing us good signs. Okay, so this is what I was talking about here. So let's see if the market gives us a move to the downside and if it's sustainable, if we maintain bearish demand over here. Sorry, we're going to wait on that. I'm buying on last week's low somewhere. Cool. And then we have S&P to keep in mind. ES is lagging. I wouldn't say that. Well, it depends, I guess, on what direction. Okay, gold. So now gold's approaching almost a zone for me to take a position in. So I'm not taking anything here. I want it to break below here. If it bounces from here and we get higher highs, then all right, cool. I'll delete my pending order. But for me, this would be where it would have to go to. So I could see a little bounce out of here, but I think we're going to work our way into this zone. So, I mean, obviously you guys can set your stops or your entry wherever you feel like it, whether it's, 42.80, 42.78 maybe. But yeah, so I think I just got tagged in. Yes, I am in. Cool. Okay. So, and this could go lower maybe a little bit, but either way, if from here we get a good reaction, then, stops can go to break even. So, like I said, I think it could tag right into this last order block as well. All right. Curious to see. Anyone going to take gold dip with me, or are you guys staying out of this trade? What's the consensus here? I took a half risk position on this as well. The only thing I don't like about this are these lows here. But it's 1 minute like taps like that, which aren't always the worst case scenario. And what I do like a little bit about this is the following. Silver looks like it's about to get to this. I think I'm going to get stopped out. Let's see. All right, little bounce. Okay. So remember what we had here with silver. Silver looks like it's kind of playing out of this structure right now in this imbalance. May or may not hold. I do have my stop a few pips below on gold as well because of those equal lows. So I did give myself a little bit more breathing room than usual on this trade. Damn, there it goes. I think this is still going to rally here soon. So see where silver's got this this huge sell-off right there. I still think we get a bounce on gold here soon. So I'm not too upset about that. So that silver alert probably is going to sound off here in a second or so. And then here we have, let's see, like right here. Here, this huge sell-off. I think we could see a reversal out of there. All right, so we almost have silver here, which I think should mitigate. Then the question becomes, is there a gold opportunity that is in alignment with this as well? This move was from Tuesday towards the end of New York session. So now we saw this playing out of Thursday's dip here, which looks like it's mitigating this already. Gold already bouncing pretty nicely. All right, silver's in the zone now. So now silver can mitigate from that area. Silver has gold has now, the opportunity to also mitigate this completely. So, yeah, if you guys see if you think this is a valid trade, feel free to take it. If you don't, then obviously don't. Okay, so now what we want to do here is, hold on, let me check in on something here. We can go take a look back at what's going on here? At indices, right? So indices, we saw it crash down, but it came right back up like pretty aggressively. So it looks like NQ is now picking up a bit more momentum, quite a bit faster. So I'm not looking for that short anymore on NQ either. So I'm staying out of that. See if this thing might continue. This mitigated that push up pretty well. And then, so cool. This now we can continue to see, maybe it rallies to the upside, and we can get our short from the higher zone. And then here we can see something different as well. Let's see how Dow wants to pull up into this range. All right, so we'll keep an eye out on both. And then with gold, we have, let's see, where was silver? Silver starting to reject this area here. So that Tuesday drop looks like it's starting to push up a little bit. Nothing too crazy. Gold got all the way back down to, looks like that Wednesday sell-off. So here we had this mitigation level. And now continuing to the upside. With silver being able to also rally from here, I think both are probably going to keep pushing. This was what, this dropped like 68 cents or so. So a move like that would bring us kind of way back up to here. So yeah, now we've seen London, Tokyo, and New York sessions lows get swept going into Thursday's London session open. So to be fair, I was cool with this trade. I don't feel too bad about it. The equal lows here, those were kind of a little bit of red flags, but I'm not really tripping on this trade, especially because I went half risk on it. So totally fine with that. But now that we have alignment with silver mitigation and you had something here on the 15, I think you're at a pretty good place to take a position. If you go, you know what, I don't have clarity on trades, do not take anything. Take what makes sense to you. Don't trade just because you feel like, oh, maybe I'll get lucky. Gold's been so bullish. Let me just throw money at this. Hopefully I'll catch the bottom. That's not the goal, right? That's not something we want to do either. Silver has, let's see, more room for this to go down to. If it wanted to, it could. And then let's see, is gold giving any, solid confirmations for a buy entry? I would say the only confirmation that it gave was the mitigation once it's sold off. So like the reversal, but further confirmations at the moment, not so much. All right. Indice-wise, nothing I would do right now. At all. So after we took this here yesterday, caught a nice little 2R. And then now this has played out of the zone, liquidated positions. So I'm okay with not really doing anything here. The difference here, though, is that Dow did go up, come all the way down. So we did see the sweep of these highs here clearing successfully. It had already cleared, though, Asian and London movement. So got back up to here, came crashing down. The question is, was this enough to go for a sell here? Which, for me, not so much. I just don't like price action. And like I mentioned, I'm okay with just not being in the market. If things are going to be a little sloppy, a little choppy, I don't really need to be doing anything here. I'm cool. We got nice squeeze on gold. Same thing here with silver. This could lead to a bigger move, whether it's up or down. All right. So what we'll do is, while gold is and metals are moving, did anyone take gold or silver or anything like that? 901 in there. Okay, that was when everyone got clapped. Survivor Series. Yes, it's lagging. Higher zone. All right, perfect. So from here, you have. We can take a look at other majors to see are there is anything setting up here. So let me take these out. All right, so we saw Australian trade all the way down to here, where we had that last push down. We talked about this. I know some of you had also CAD. So let's see, where did CAD play out of this? Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. I think it was Filmowit, right? That you had a nice play that you were looking for out of here. So CAD played out of here really, really nicely. And our way to really confirm between correlated setups is just seeing like at what pace it works into this zone. So this happened around London session where it got and hit that 786 pullback. 886, and then it popped off from there. You have the same scenario with Australian here. It got all the way down, but this thing was crashing into this pretty aggressively. So I was asleep, so it's not like I could have made the call in real time. But pretty cool play. Okay, so what did we just see? Looking at majors, Swiss franc took out liquidity, played an imbalance, and then immediately dropped. NZD, just squeezing, man. Took out these highs, though. Okay, so NZD clears all this. London, Asian, some New York, and then crashes. What does that look like with like the Aussie? Because these move pretty similar together. So this looks good. This looks like a potential short in the future. So a huge move up here, stalled out, another pump. So over here, definitely have possible areas for shorts on NZD. The yen pumped up, comes crashing down. So you see this move up here. All right. Similar, like just London session. Clears it, tanks. Could have something there as well. Okay. So the sweep of liquidity. Market makes its move. The timing of these things is important too. NZD happens a little bit later though. So on the way back, how does it mitigate? What causes these kinds of movements? These things matter. Pound here, right? Takes out the highs. And then crashes. And it's staying low. So this definitely was a nice liquidity sweep. So we can go to the 15. Nice little move, which we haven't come back up to. So it looks like the dollar picking up some strength here. All right. So you guys can go over majors. You have similar setups. You guys can just kind of walk through which ones make more sense to you or don't make sense to you. But I'd say NZD and the yen, pound, Some of those, there would be definitely ideas to keep in mind. Now, going from here, let's take a look at indices again, right? Because this thing is ripping. So staying out of shorts was definitely a good play across the board. We're seeing Dow about to take out this high from yesterday. Not New York session highs, but like, a lower high from yesterday. So just around there. NASDAQ, very, very close as well. And then if we can take a look at S&P, pretty similar. So let's see here. ES honestly makes a nice move to the upside before it comes down, chops up again, and then comes down. So maybe we see the shorts happen on S&P. We'll see. Right, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let me see. Let me take a look back at metals. Gold back down in the zone. Back over here. Okay. And what about silver? Okay, silver worked its way further down. Silver hasn't mitigated this yet either. Okay. Could this finally set up the gold play? Or did gold already mitigate? Which it looks like it actually did. Here, pretty big move. About a 300 pip reversal right out of there earlier. Yeah, it's interesting. There's just a lot of these like big spike downs, reversals. Big move down, reversal. You have it here again. So this one, I'd say actually already happened. Silver hasn't though. Silver has not mitigated. So silver would have to push from where we're at, like over here. Yeah, buyers getting gutted right now on gold. Okay, so after pushing all the way up to here, dropping again. So as you guys can see, price action isn't necessarily extremely aggressive in only one direction. We're seeing big move up, big reversal. Big move up, big reversal. So it's actually trading pretty efficiently on the way up so far. Simplest. I mean, everything stays pretty much the same to me though. Like at this point, the only option I really see is the sell up here on NQ. As long as it works its way to the upside a bit slower than Dow. That's kind of that's my current take. Okay, let's take a look at Bitcoin. So while indices have been rallying, Bitcoin is not on that vibe right now. Bitcoin is just not holding up the same. So I think the last push down that we're going to see is over here. I think the last move, you have that huge sell-off. And actually, I'll just use a bar replay tool so you guys can see it a little bit better. Right there. Yeah, so here was that last crash. Let's go to the 15. Last push down. Rebalances, market rips from here, and just goes. So this is the last one, getting back to like 101,500. So you guys can now see why that zone's relevant. And we go from there. So we have our daily time frame structure, which is from 98,200 to here. Now the reason being, like, why is this the structure? Remember, everything has to do with demand. So the market doesn't necessarily make a higher high here. It's unsustainable price action when it tries to get up here on the daily time frame. So now we're clearing liquidity for sure, but is that enough? And my guess is that by the time indices make it up to these areas up here, so by the time, whether it's NASDAQ or Dow, whatever it is, we get a short from these higher ranges, that's probably what's going to push Bitcoin into this 101,500 level. And then we can see a nice bounce out of here. We got the shakeout setup here where it cleared liquidity, came in, and then it pumped. So we did see that. However, this was just to rebalance, played out of slow order block right there. And then just this continued on its journey. Its journey to the downside. So that's my take on Bitcoin overall. Obviously, but the nice thing, and the only silver lining you could possibly find with all of this is, one, cool, you can get better opportunities, but for Bitcoin specifically. However, alts haven't been dropping as poorly. So yes, they've been going down, but it just hasn't been as aggressively. So right now, like, even as I mentioned before, we needed to see Bitcoin dominance come into this imbalance. So I think alts, we should see once with the bleeding has finished, we see a rotation, the rotation on the way up be a bit more aggressive for altcoins rather than Bitcoin. That's my perspective. We'll see if I'm right. But yeah, that's my take at the moment, would be that. Let's see, stocks should be looking a little different. Webull still sitting in the 11s. We have, let's see, nothing too crazy anywhere, really. Intel, 38 still. Solar, a little bit of a red day. Yeah, kind of boring on the stock side of things. Nothing right now. Snap, UPS still at good levels. Lucid almost at an entry, but that remains the same. We have a lot more day left though. So okay. All right. So we have NASDAQ bouncing back up, working its way, might be ready to push past these highs, basically liquidity that it's building at this point. Let's see, all right, what we got going on with gold, choppy, silver holding it down. Cool. We're kind of seeing a back and forth with Dow and NQ on like which one's more bullish, which one's more bearish. So I'm definitely going to keep my eyes on sells and which one I'm going to take. Ideally, it's nice and easy. Dow NQ is slower, and when it gets up to here, then we can just short. ideally. All right, let's see what's up with chat. Can you still share those stock charts? Yeah, I'll do a recap, a full recap on them. Right. Actually, thank you for reminding me, Greg. I did want to look at Nike re-entries because we took profit. I took profit on this at our target, which we had great exits, man. Great exits. Now we're in this gap. So the thing that the reason I'm not really looking to add too much more to this, I mean, we could. Honestly, 20% is 20%. So I want to throw some ammo at this, and we have liquidity. So from here, our next target would be approaching 80, like 90s almost. So yeah, not bad. I think if you wanted a dollar cost average in within this gap is not a bad idea at all. Especially looking at indices where, in my opinion, let me just go ahead and kind of zoom out here. Let's just actually pull it up on the daily. But on the daily, what does the market look like to you guys? Like if you are looking at this on the daily time frame, whether it's Dow, NQ, S&P, what does this look like to you? What would you say is likely to happen to the market overall? Obviously, the day's not over, so this chart can look different. But does this chart look on the daily time frame bearish, or on a daily time frame does it look bullish? What do you guys think here? He said shorts. I'm not saying to get in now. I'm just saying on the daily time frame, does it look like this is distributing, or could this be reaccumulation? I'm curious how everyone perceives this right now. Okay, Joe says, Edwin says shorts. Joe says get ready to explode, bullish, accumulation. Jesus says bullish. Patrick says bearish, consolidating. Okay. Let's see. I want to get some other opinions in here. All right, so let's see. Accumulating, ready for a move up. I'm looking at NQ. Don't know if it's the right chart. Yeah, so when I think about this, my opinion is that this thing is, relatively bullish. So, I'm not too concerned on when we broke, like the scary thing of this for most people is the daily candle. They see the daily huge bearish candle, and then that is just what absorbs your attention. Like, oh my God, look at this one day, like this is over, right? And then the next day it gapped up and closed up here. The next day it traded below, but it closes higher. So we're seeing the demand is pretty weak down here. Not that it's very strong up here either. But what we're seeing as what really changes your perspective overall, whether it's Dow or NQ, is if the market stays below the previous lows. That's when you're starting to see, no, there's more sellers in the market. Like that's what that means. So for me, if the let's say, average stock market. And I know it's like, really? Can we keep this up? It's been going crazy since April. Shouldn't this start dropping? Like, shouldn't this start selling? And then especially when you get a big candle like this and you're like, okay, now it's the beginning of the stock market working its way down, you know, just trading back at least to the lows for maybe just trading back into like April price action, May price action. I get that. I 100% get that. My only take here is that when the market broke below here on NASDAQ, S&P, Dow Jones, it's just not sustainable. Demand isn't there. And even now, every time it tries to get even close, it's not sustainable. So overall, I think we're going to see the markets keep going higher, which kind of feels hard to believe. But that also is encouraging regarding, let's say something like Nike, something like Webull, etc. So, yeah, I'm overall bullish on where I think the markets can go with stocks. Okay. All right. So I'll leave you guys to it. I'll be active in the community. We'll be going over. I'll be sharing anything if I see something new. If we start working our way up to here and we have a new opportunity, or just to get confirmation, just like yesterday when I shared the play-by-play on the NQ buys that we took profit on here. I know a lot of you took that as well. So we're going to be doing the similar thing there. So yeah, man, good stuff, guys. Excellent session. If you're here maybe for the first time, then feel free to join our communities. We have free community and our hands-on mentorship as well. That's just way, way, way more interactive. But be involved. Today I will be uploading a full course for free in the free community as well. It'll be a throwback for sure. So stay tuned for that. And guys, don't forget to journal all your trades. All right. Document everything. If you took something, if you're impulsive, if you did what you needed to, if everything went the right way, then keep it up too. So take care, guys, and we will see you again on Monday. Peace.